Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name's Adrian. Joining me once again, my co-host Tocayo, Adrian. Adrian, what's good, bro?
Broski, Wednesday night. Anxious to see your reactions on the USMNT roster, and I'm pretty much ad hoc for this episode.
Yeah, you're rocking that USMNT jersey. Well, 2014, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if that's considered retro now.
I guess so. This is the one that you actually gave me. I think we did an exchange. I gave you a Tigres white jersey, if I'm not mistaken, like a third kit.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me this. So
yeah. I remember. Good times. But yeah, man, this episode we're going to be going through our reactions, giving our thoughts and discussions on the USMNT Nations League 2024 roster drop, 23-man roster for the semifinal match against Jamaica and potential final match against the winner of Panama and Mexico. I guess just like we talked about during Mexico, not really a lot of big changes. I think Triple G kind of has his core of his A team, his nucleus that he kind of tends to gravitate towards that we all know pretty well at this point. There are a couple points that we kind of want to mention of inclusions, maybe one or two exclusions that are kind of question mark for us. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Starting off with the goalkeepers. I don't think there's much discussion with the first two, Matt Turner, Nottingham Forest, and Ethan Horvath, Cardiff City. But the third goalkeeper, we were kind of talking about in our preview of the roster, who could it be? I think you and I were both leaning towards Gagas Lonina just because of the, him getting that experience. But he called in. He had a sneak in there, an Inter Miami player, huh? Drake Callender.
Yes. Of course, he was going to have to do that. He's a sucker for MLS, and now they're trying to put Inter the Messi everywhere, man.
I got my colors right here.
Here we go. I don't have anything against Drake Callender, but dude, he's just riding that Messi wave.
Yeah.
He's not even the best MLS keeper, So
I don't know if you saw that earlier this week. Inter Miami played Montreal.
Yeah,
and that Drake Callender came off his line, got beat, and the Montreal player took it so long to shoot, and he skied it over. It was like, come on, Drake Callender, this is the third best goalkeeper for USMNT,
exactly.
According to Triple G.
for real. Oh my god.
But other than that, I mean, no big questions. No other big question marks there. But it is weird to see a USMNT squad with below average goalkeepers. We were so used to seeing for the last 20 years, 30 years, maybe Brad Friedel, all those guys, Casey Keller, right, Tim Howard, just being solid goalkeepers. And now Matt Turner is probably the best ones the USMNT has, but still not getting a lot of playing time. So we'll see what that ends up happening there. Moving on to defenders, man, we got serginodest, PSV Eindhoven. PSV just got eliminated from the Champions League today, March 13th. Christopher Lund, Palermo, Mark McKenzie, Genk, timream, Fulham, Chris Richards, Crystal Palace, Anthony Jedi Robinson, Fulham, Miles Robinson, FC Cincinnati, and Joe Scally, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Before I give my opinion, who was your, I guess, shock inclusion or exclusion from defenders, man?
Well, I don't know if this is shocking or not, but I'm happy to see Mark McKenzie, man. I think if there's anyone out there who has worked his butt off to deserve a call up with the USMNT is Mark McKenzie. I think I remember him posting stuff on Instagram whenever he didn't get called up last year, questioning why. He's out there playing with Genk, which is a decent team, more than a decent team in Belgium. He's a starting player. He's out there grinding, and for Triple G to just look him over, putting Miles Robinson ahead of him is just, I don't know. It was just a freaking kick on the trachea, my guy. So,
and I think he even had Zimmerman ahead of him last time.
Exactly. Even Aaron Long, dude. Like, what would you call Aaron Long for? So, I'm glad to see Mark McKenzie here. And there was another one here that I was kind of surprised.
I know you mentioned Cameron Carter-Vickers, his exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see CCV here.
Yeah, what's going on? Gregg Berhalter gave an interview a couple days ago or earlier today, saying that he's out because he's been battling injuries since December, in and out. I think the Celtic coach was mentioned that he got injured the previous match. Still doesn't know the extent of it. Shouldn't be anything major, but he's just been battling injuries. So that's kind of the reason why. I know when we did our preview episode, we were mentioning who he would be starting center back. The good thing is Chris Richards has kind of come up. So
Hmm.
now USMNT has 4 good center backs, 5 if you count timream, right? Mark McKenzie, Chris
Hmm.
Richards, timream, and Kyron Carter Vickers. Sorry, 4. I can't count. 4 really good uh, center backs that are playing in Europe. So
Exactly.
even if one is injured, like we see with CCV, you got 3 other guys there and step it up, and then you got Miles Robinson, who's also getting called up, who's probably the best center back in MLS, and one that should have gone to Europe, but chased the money instead. But yeah, so I think other than that, no big real question marks here for Gregg Berhalter defenders.
No, not really. Because you have serginodest and Josh Kelly on your left back position, and you have what Christopher Lund and Anthony Robinson for right back, right?
Other way.
Other way. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Yeah.
So he's covered, dude. I don't think he needs more players for this couple of matches.
Yeah, moving on to midfield, we have Gioreyna, Nottingham Forest, Yunus Musa, AC Milan, Weston McKennie, Juventus, Luca de la Torre, Celta Vigo, Johnny Cardoso, Real Betis, and Tyler Adams, Bournemouth. So I guess no real exclusions, but the big inclusion here that we weren't sure if he was going to call him up or not is Tyler Adams, somebody who's
Yeah,
barely coming back from injury.
when you showed me the list, I glanced over it, and I just didn't register in my mind that Tyler Adams was getting called up, and now that I see it here, I am surprised. I mean, he just came back last weekend or a couple of weekends ago.
Yep.
Uh,
This weekend, or last weekend, just
yeah,
barely
and
starting to get back.
during our a couple of episodes back, we mentioned that yes, Tyler Adams is one of those talented players that USMNT should always include, but since for the last 14 months or whatever he's been out, they haven't missed it that much, and then you have Johnny Cardoso and Luca de la Torre who can pick up the slack for him.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if Triple G is gonna give him the starting position back. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so, but I wouldn't put it past Triple G, just because Tyler Adams is the captain, he's one of the favorites. But what I could see happening is Johnny Cardoso starting and Tyler Adams kind of coming in for the second half or something, or
Yeah.
after 70 minutes. But it's kind of odd that he called in 3 number 6s, Luca de la
Exactly.
Torre, Tyler Adams, Johnny
Hmm.
Cardoso. You could have left one of them home and maybe brought in, even though he's not playing amazing, a Brendan Aronson or
Yeah.
something, to give you more power going forward,
Hmm.
more speed. But yeah, I mean, I think the other two that are he usually plays 4-3-3. So the other two midfielders that no question are going to be probably Weston McKennie and gioreyna or Yunus Musa. But yeah, that number 6 role is kind of will Tyler Adams start? That's the big question mark moving
Hmm.
forward. And forwards, man, he called in 6 forwards. Folarin Balogun from Monaco, Malik Tillman PSV, Ricardo Pepi PSV, Christian Pulisic AC Milan, Josh Sargent Norwich City, and Tim Weah Juventus. Your boy Josh Sargent made the cut, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Josh Sargent, dude. I think he's well deserved. He's been showing up for Norwich City. I'm still doubtful he's gonna start. But hey, he's to me, out of all the strikers you have in this list, he's perhaps the one with the most fire right now.
Oh, definitely the most informed for sure.
Hmm.
Might even rank it him, Pepi, Balogun in form.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. But I wouldn't be surprised if freaking Triple G goes ahead and puts Folarin Balogun just because of what the USSF is telling him to do. I guess they spent so much money trying to lure him into
recruit
the
him, yeah.
on the USMNT that now it's a situation of, well, we cannot put it to waste, right?
Yeah, maybe have a lot of promises to keep. But I
Uh-huh.
mean, to his credit, he's been good when he's been called up for Lauren Balogun. So we'll see. We'll see. That is definitely probably the big question mark. Other than will Tyler Adams start? Who is Triple G going to start as the number 9?
Yeah, number
Um,
9. Hmm.
because undoubtedly, I think the other two that he's going to start on the wings are Christian Pulisic and Tim Weah. There, that those are kind of his go-to guys. With Malik Tillman maybe interchanging with Gio Reyna if needed. But yeah, man. I mean, forward wise, I think another omission that we could discuss that we were kind of mentioning in our preview
Mm.
episode of when he dropped the 60-man roster, if he was going to be called up just because of his current form from Monterrey. Brandon Vasquez, he's one that has scored 7 goals in 12 games here for Monterrey, and he's kind of in good form.
Yeah.
He's missed some games for Monterrey because of personal reasons. His kid was born, etc. But when he has played, he's been on fire for Monterrey. So, do you think Brandon Vasquez maybe deserved a call up, or you think he's justified with calling these three forwards that he called up?
I think that Brandon Vasquez could have taken Ricardo Pepi's spot. Maybe not easily, but definitely he should have been in contention for that third string forward spot, because I think right now, in my mind at least, is Josh Sargent, Pepi, and sorry, George Sargent, Balogun, and then Pepi. And the only reason why I put Pepi on the third string is because he's not a starter like Folarin Balogun
Yeah,
and Josh Sargent. So if you look at Brandon Vasquez, he's a starter for Monterrey. He has now become a crucial player for Monterrey, and actually, he he won the battle between him and Berterame for that number 9 spot. Berterame is now playing on the wing, where I think he's a little more effective. But Brandon Vasquez it was like a freaking uh, great fit for Monterrey. Like, they were looking for a someone who can net the bag on inside the box, someone who's a finisher, someone who, if needed, can act as a freaking post, and just be a number 9. The things that Rogelio Funes Mori was not doing was not doing on the recent years, Brandon Vasquez is now
yeah,
doing it. I think this ties to our conversation from our, El Tris roster drop reaction, where we said that um, just because you play in Europe, you have I don't know if it's a slight or significant advantage over those who play in, I guess, lower tier divisions like Liga MX or MLS. And I think Brandon Vasquez is a good example of someone who's getting a lot of game time with his club, who is crucial and has a very determining role with his team. But just because he's not playing in Eredivisie or Pro League in Belgium, or a small team in one of the top 5 leagues, he's not gonna get called up, even though he is in excellent form.
yeah, and that's an interesting point of contention. At what point does it become, you know, he's playing very, very well for MLS or Liga MX, and scoring goals versus, he's someone like Balogun who's not scoring that many goals
Mm-hmm.
playing, or Pepi, someone that doesn't play a lot, and he scores. He's got a decent ratio of minutes to goal scored. Pepi
Mm-hmm.
coming off the bench, but he's not playing as much as Brandon Vasquez. He's not scoring as much as Brandon Vasquez. So when does that come into contention that the coaches say, okay, well, this guy's playing a lower league, lower, compared to somebody in Europe, but do I bring him up versus the guy that's not hot, right? So
Yeah.
definitely a topic that we'd like to, maybe one video pursue further, and let us know in the comments, what do you guys think, for sure. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think the league is the determining factor for these call ups? Would Brandon Vasquez have gotten called up instead of one of those other three forwards? Had he moved to a team in Europe instead of Monterrey? Let us know for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, roster just like the Mexico one, where we give our reactions to, pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
He's got
Yeah.
his favorites, and he called up who I think 99% of USMNT fans would have called up. No big differences.
Yeah. I mean, if we took a holistic view of the roster, I think really good point of mentioning that he's bringing 3 number 6 players, and now that I'm paying closer attention to it, I feel that he's lacking maybe one additional winger. Because right now you only have Christian Pulisic, Tim Boya, and Malik Tillman. Well, I guess you can play gioreyna over
Yeah,
there, and Folarin Balogun, but I don't know. I would have left either one of those number 6s and brought someone who can, as you said, play as a central attacking midfielder or
Brendan
a
Aronson.
winger. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm Yeah.
yeah, that
So
might
I
be
mean,
where
we'll
he's a
see
little
if
late.
things get a little hot over there with Triple G, if he's able to make some mastermind strategy changes with what he has.
And as we wrap up this episode, I'm going to bring up one more topic that we discussed in the Mexico episode. If he gets knocked out by Jamaica in the semifinals,
Ooh,
do you think Triple G is sacked?
nah. If
No?
there's no, dude. Okay, so this is why I was so quick to say yes. I think if you look at the top 20 coaches, I guess top 20 international coaches right now at their teams, if there's one who has a guaranteed job at least until 2026, unless something extremely catastrophic happens, is Triple G. If they brought him back from that freaking disaster he had with
Yeah.
gioreyna at the end of 2022, it's because he has job security locked down, dude.
Wow. And you don't think losing to Jamaica in the semifinals of the Nations League would be catastrophic enough?
No, I think they're just gonna say, hey, you know what? We're thinking big picture. The tournament of this summer is Copa America, so it doesn't really matter if if we don't win against Jamaica. Like
Wow.
it's not gonna look good, but I don't think he's gonna lose his job over that. I don't think here's the difference between him and Jimmy. El Jimmy, even though he's been putting out some decent results, right? And you can probably say, hey, you can give more slack to Jimmy because he's only been at helm of El Tri for what, a year, compared to what
Not
Triple
even,
G.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and you will think that Triple G, given the fact that he's been there for at least one World Cup cycle, will have more pressure, but that's not the case. That is not the case. I don't see anyone criticizing Triple G besides maybe the likes of Hercules Gomez and some other, I guess, content creators like Tactical Manager and whatnot. But he doesn't really have that much pressure. Like the pundits out there are not exerting any kind of criticism towards him. Uh, to be fair, I mean, he has a pretty easy job.
Yeah. From the top 20 ranked teams in the world, he probably has the one with the less pressure. For sure.
I don't disagree, man.
Interesting, man. We'll see how it goes for him if he gets past Jamaica and maybe on track to take the USMNT to 3 in a row Nations League trophies. We'll see later this month. Adrian, man, as we wrap up this episode, brother, where can our listeners find us?
They can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Instagram. We post stuff every now and then.
Yeah, so be sure to follow us on your preferred social media platform of choice, and let us know in the comments. We like interacting with you guys, so let us know down there. Do you think Triple G, left anybody off the roster who deserved to be on the roster, or did he include anybody that maybe wasn't necessarily deserving of an inclusion on this 23-man squad? Let us know below, definitely. Adrian, man, another good episode with you, brother. I'll see you in the next one.
Always a pleasure, my guy. Deuce.
Likewise. See ya.